Formed by ancient volcanoes, Tenerife has no shortage of beautiful black sands beaches, stunning mountain vistas, abandoned mysteries, crystal clear waters, spectacular towns, clear night skies, and amazing local food. Just 200 miles off the coast of Africa, Tenerife is the largest of the Spanish Canary Islands and has every landscape you might imagine, from the dry desert in the south to lush highlands in the north. The middle of the island is home to El Teide, an active volcano and the highest point in Spain. In our last video, we took you to Teide National Park in Tenerife and shared our adventures to the peak of El Teide. And in this video, we're going to share with you our epic road trip around the island. This itinerary will take you around the coast of Tenerife with 12 incredible stops around this beautiful island. My name is Matt, welcome to our channel.
And I'm Megan, and I accidentally deleted more than half of the footage from this video.
Oopsies. We're staying in Costa Adeje, but the first stop is in Los Cristianos.
Hola. Buenas tardes.
Dos. We booked a 2-hour whale watching cruise on our first night in Tenerife with hopes of seeing marine wildlife. The south of Tenerife is a year-round home to pilot whales and dolphins, and at different times of the year, you might even see orcas or sperm whales. It wasn't long after we left port where we saw our first pilot whales.
Is to see dolphins and pilot whales, and that's the closest I've ever been to a whale.
I would say with any whale tour, as long as you see at least one whale, your money is well spent.
The color of this water is absolutely stunning. Like, so beautiful. Man, what a beautiful day to be outside on the water, on a boat.
Part of this tour included dropping anchor and swimming in the brilliant blue waters of the Atlantic Ocean.
Guys, that was so much fun. The traveling lady is small, but she is mighty. We saw some pilot whales. We had the best time out there. The weather was perfect. The water was so blue. The views were spectacular. I would highly recommend. We have a link down below in our description of the actual tour we went on. I would say if you get a lot of seasickness, it might not be the one for you, but it's only a 2-hour tour and it went by really fast.
About a 15-minute drive from Los Cristianos is this 30-meter long natural arch. If you've never seen a natural arch before, this is a great first one to see. This arch was formed by years and years of volcanic activity and water erosion. Less than a 2-minute walk from the parking lot, we're already at the arch. So this is a fun little micro adventure, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Just short little adventures along this road trip.
We're here pretty much by ourselves, and it's a beautiful day out. This thing is really cool.
This is a really cool arch. You're able to easily get to it just by a short walk from the parking lot, and we're just here. We're pretty much alone. Definitely worth coming to. This is the Arco de Tajao. Probably butchered that pronunciation. Arco de Tajao. T-A-J-A-O. Tajao. Tajao. I'm sorry if I butchered that pronunciation. I'm trying. Alright, that was a fun short adventure, and now we're on to the next one. This is the part of the road trip where things start to become more obscure and mysterious. Leproseria Abades is a small village that was originally built to house lepers in Tenerife during the 1940s. No lepers actually ever moved in here. By the time construction was completed, there were medical treatments available and people's mentality on forcing sick people to quarantine had changed. At some point it was sold to a tourist company and they never did anything with it, and it's completely fallen into disarray. But there's things like a school, like we're in right now, a church, housing. It turned into a military target practice area during the 70s and then was sold in the early 2000s to become a tourist area before it was completely neglected and turned into what it is today. Graffiti artists from around the world come here to leave their mark. It's really kind of eerie being in here. Spooky. Spooky. Had people lived here at one point, I wonder if there'd be hauntings here. Ooh.
We also have read that there could be some homeless people actually living in some of these buildings. So if you're gonna come here, just keep your eyes open and go on your merry way.
Oh, look at this, it looks kind of like you.
Someone take him away!
You'll need some good walking shoes for this one. This is the Bunker de San Andreas. Our next stop takes us about an hour north, just past the capital city, Santa Cruz de Tenerife. An abandoned World War II observation bunker which is accessible via a short but moderate hike with non-stop views. This is a little bit out of the way, but there's this really cool abandoned bunker at the top that I wanted to hike to. It's about a mile-ish hike from the start of the trail. I think you're really gonna like what we're gonna show you.
These views are absolutely incredible. This hike is quite easy, uphill but very gradual, so it's totally doable. And we're almost there. It's only been like 20 minutes. You just see views the entire time.
We're at this one part where this side of the mountain is literally just held up by this fence. So it could collapse at any minute. I'm just kidding. This is just to hold rocks from falling. If they're gonna fall, they're not gonna go down all the way down and crush anybody who's driving down below. This is the entrance to the bunker.
Let's go.
All right, let's go check out the bunker.
Oh my gosh. This is a little scary, baby.
I know.
Corn nuts. Wow, this is random string.
So freaking eerie though.
It is.
Oh look, they blocked up a lot of it.
With boobies.
This is an old World War II bunker, and from what I read online, it wasn't actually used as a defensive position with a lot of weapons and things like that. It definitely had some weapons because it's a military bunker, but it was primarily used to communicate to other bunkers. There's not a whole lot of info about this place that I could find today.
What was that?
Probably just...
Oh my gosh, it was trash.
Alright, let's keep moving.
It's a rat. I was about to freak out.
Definitely a little spooky, but honestly, how cool is it?
I definitely wouldn't have chosen this activity for a family fun outing, but
Normally abandoned places kind of scare the absolute crap out of me, but I figured when in Spain and when there's an easily accessible bunker, why not go check it out? This isn't something that I've ever seen ever just for free and available, so, you know, why not?
why is there a mattress up here?
How freaking cool is this, Megan?
It's so cool, baby. There is the mattress with a huge stain in the middle. If you guys haven't noticed, Matt planned this entire road trip, and I feel like this is such a Matt road trip.
Not gonna lie, it's definitely kind of eerie being in here with you don't know what's gonna be around the next corner. And then whenever the trash moves around, it's like, what's that? What's that? What's that? Depending on how much time and how many other things you might want to do on this road trip, or if you want to follow our exact road trip, I would absolutely strongly advise coming here. How cool is this? Remember to subscribe.
All right, guys, definitely a strong, adventure-filled morning.
These are the kind of things that kind of make my blood pump a little bit. I love hiking, and then when you add in some kind of weird, unique exploration kind of activity, it really gets me going. There's also a little bit extra to this hike that you could do if you wanted to. It leads up to some caves and some arches, but since we already saw a cool arch earlier in this video, we're gonna pass on that, and maybe the next time we're in Tenerife, we'll come back to it. By this point in the day, you're probably ready for some food, so we're gonna recommend that you head to La Laguna and stop at Tasco Ferracho for some delicious Canarian food. Lenzo? Sí. Mateo. So this place has a fixed menu, and it's gonna be kind of a surprise what we get. But the first thing is a salad. The second is gonna be some octopus with some beans, and then the third, final thing that we're all gonna share is going to be codfish. Without any remote exaggeration, this might be one of the best meals of my entire life. It is so good. La Laguna is a good spot to spend the rest of the night before heading into Anaga Rural Park the next day. The next leg of the road trip will bring you to Anaga Rural Park, which is an absolute stunning mountain highland, completely different than the south side of Tenerife. It's a bit colder here, so make sure to have a jacket and possibly a raincoat as well. There are many different hikes that you can do in Anaga Rural Park, and we're gonna start at the Path of the Senses, or the Sendero de los Sentidos. walking this trail reminds me of, I don't know what it reminds me of, but it reminds me of something special.
On the path of senses, they really encourage you to feel all the feelings on this trail. So they want you to touch the rocks, listen to the trees move, and feel the atmosphere, smell the smells of the forest. And it's such an experience. I feel like this is different than just a little hike in the woods. It's more of like a grounding experience.
Wow, this is really a beautiful lookout. You can see the ocean, you can see more mountains.
Clouds right next to us.
It's really nice to be out in nature and doing some hikes and stuff again. We haven't been doing much of it since we've been in Spain, so since we're in Tenerife, there's tons of options for hiking. This is just the start of a lot more hiking and activities we're going to be doing while we're here. After the Path of the Senses hike, you're gonna head up to the Mirador Aguirre. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. This is the area where we saw some of the most beautiful views in all of Tenerife, and this part of the park is known as Chinamara.
Whoa, we just got here to the top. Wow, these mountains are so beautiful.
This rock right here is called Roque de los Pinos, and it's special because this is one of the few spots that the pines actually grow above the normal altitude line. So they're growing all on that rock. These are Canarian pines. They grow facing the sun because that's what plants want to do. They just want to soak up that good sun, baby.
This is amazing. Wow. Tenerife could not be more beautiful, I have to say. Honestly, it's a beautiful day. Once we got up to this top, it got a little warmer. I mean, look at this view. This is incredible.
Depending on how long you want to hike for, or if you're up for more adventures, there's a ton of other hiking options in Anaga Rural Park, including El Piral, also known as El Bosque Encantado, or the Enchanted Forest. This hike is heavily regulated, so you do need to get a permit in advance, and there's huge fines if you don't. But if you're done hiking and you're done with Anaga Rural Park, it's time to head to the beach. Tenerife is a volcanic island, and an effect of volcanic activity tends to result in black sands beaches. We head to Playa Los Patos, which was a little bit of a challenge to get here.
Honestly, this is so cool. I'm so excited. Yay!
All right, a couple things about this beach. Popular nudist area, so I don't know how much filming we're gonna do. And it's actually probably not that safe to swim. There's a strong current and these waves are intense. So even from what I was reading online, I was prepared for that we might not be able to swim here, but we'll probably be able to go in at least a little bit. The waves are a little more intense than what I'm comfortable swimming in, but it's nice to at least go in a little bit. I think we're just gonna hang out for a little bit, get some sun, and enjoy the black sands. It's so soft.
I haven't seen anything like this before.
This is wild. What a wild life we live. that's enough fun for here. We gotta go get some food. Nothing works up an appetite quite like hanging out on a beautiful beach. So after this, you're gonna wanna get some food and you're gonna want to find a guachinche. Guachinches are traditional Canarian restaurants that serve some amazing food with a house-like feel. We went to Guachinche La Chozas in La Orotava and had an absolutely amazing meal. La Orotava was a beautiful Spanish town that I would absolutely love to go spend more time in, and when we come back to Tenerife, which we definitely will, I think we'll want to stay here.
You know that trend going on with Wes Anderson? I feel like this entire town is a Wes Anderson film. It is so cute, so beautiful, so much color. I feel like you can't help but be happy when you see all of these colors. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree with that.
Guys, this is the goat stew. Oh man.
The best?
It's so good.
I mean, literally absolutely zero exaggeration when I say this, but I think this is gonna be a meal that is gonna live in my memory for the rest of my life. Absolutely amazing. If you're coming to Tenerife and you go to La Orotava, definitely check out Guachinche La Choza. It is amazing. The goat stew, so good. And the puchero canario, so good, so good. Get it with chorizo. Our next stop on this road trip is Drago de Ico de los Vinos, which is just a big tree. So here's the deal about going and seeing one of the oldest trees, if not the oldest tree on Tenerife. It's estimated to be between 800 and 1,000 years old, and it is a Drago tree. If you want to go to the park, you can pay €5 per person to get in. It's a big park, it's beautiful, there's lots of different plants and animals. But if you want to just go for free and see the tree, you can go to Plaza Andres de Lorenzo Caceres. There's a free viewing spot that you can see. So that's where we are now, and we're gonna show you exactly where it is because it's just over there.
Trees on a budget. Trees on a budget. Trees on a budget. Who are we?
Trees on a budget.
Yeah. What do?
We look at trees for freeze.
Trees on a budget. Trees on a budget. Trees on a budget. Okay. Wow. That thing's quite big. Truthfully, trees is really more of Matt style.
All the trees I've ever seen in my life, and I have seen a lot of trees because I was an arborist at one point in my career, that is a monster of a tree. It's really cool to see how it's formed. You can see the roots, you can see the top of the tree. Truthfully, I don't know much about that specific tree, except that it's between 800 and 1,000 years old. One of the most popular places in all of Tenerife. Truly, I'm glad that we paid $0 to go over and watch it from over here, because at the end of the day, it's just a tree.
I would do a heck and skip if you just don't care about trees.
Of course, we didn't come all the way here just to look at a tree. We're trying a Canary Island specialty coffee called Barquito. So this is with a popular liqueur called Licor 43, which is liquor 43, which is a 43 spiced popular liqueur drink in the Canaries. It's also got condensed milk, froth milk, and coffee. So it comes out in layers. So it should be really cool to see how they do this. I think that tastes like Christmas. Yeah, I'd say that tastes like Christmas in May. It's freaking delicious. This is probably one of the tastiest coffee drinks I've ever had.
This flavor. Wow.
After a delicious Barquito, we drove down the coast further to Garachico, which is a beautiful town. According to the sign when you drive in, Garachico is one of the most beautiful towns in all of Spain. It's also one of the oldest ports in Tenerife, if not the oldest. Rumor has it that in the 1700s, a monk decided that he was going to leave the place and he put a curse on it, and the next day, a volcano came and completely wiped out the city, which is what we're standing in now. Natural pools formed by volcanic rock. We hoped to go swimming in Garachico, but unfortunately it was low tide when we got there, so that's gonna have to be for our next trip.
There are a ton of natural pools on Tenerife all around the island, so not just here. There's a few in the south, a few in the east, a few in the north. You can take your pick. We chose the wrong one at the wrong time because of low tide. Roll Tide.
Even though we missed out on this opportunity to swim in some natural pools, we are not gonna miss an opportunity to see an epic sunset, so we better get going if we wanna make it in time. Our last stop of the day is Playa Los Guillos, which is a black sands beach right up against Los Gigantes, which are massive 600-meter tall cliffs that just jut straight out of the water.
I can't think of a perfect way to end the day that's been so adventure filled.
After spending 2 weeks in Tenerife, we've done so many epic things, and there's still so much left to do. All in all, I think Tenerife is so awesome to visit, and many people don't leave the resort area in the south. So I would say if you're gonna come to Tenerife, rent a car and explore as much of the island as you possibly can. Even if it's just a one-day driving around the entire island, you will not be disappointed. And that wraps up our Tenerife road trip video. If you found this video helpful and got some good information out of it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and why don't you go check out our video of us hiking to the top of El Teide, Spain's highest peak. See you in the next one.